Botswana has a new president, Duma Boko. The leader of the Umbrella for Democratic Change defeated his predecessor, Mokgweetsi Masisi, in an election on October the 30th, ending 58 years of rule by the Botswana Democratic Party. Many in the diamond industry view this as a positive development, as we reported on Rapaport.com last week. There had been some concerns about how Masisi handled negotiations with De Beers over a new sales agreement. Boko said De Beers had considered walking away from the talks. Before we continue, a big thank you to those who gave feedback on our coverage of Botswana, especially to Botswana-based Nelly Maripe, who mentioned us in her TikTok video. And I also wanted to remind you to sign up to our new Rapaport WhatsApp channel, where you can stay informed on diamond and jewelry industry news through your phone. Click on the link to subscribe. Botswana is unique in that it's probably the only country in the world where diamonds are the #1 item on the head of state's agenda. Diamonds account for around 80% of Botswana's exports. The downturn in global demand has hurt the country's economy, while the failure of the government and De Beers to agree on a final sales agreement has added to the uncertainty. A deterioration in the situation could have a damaging impact on the people of Botswana, where diamond revenues have enabled roads and hospitals and schools to be built and citizens to receive education and training. There are therefore a lot of items on Duma Boko's to-do list that should interest us as an industry. Let's look at 3 of them. Number 1, sign the De Beers deal. More than a year has passed since De Beers and the Botswana government reached an agreement in principle dictating how the country would allocate its diamonds. It called for the state-run rough trader, Okavango Diamond Company, to receive the rights to sell 30% of production from Botswana, the mining joint venture between De Beers and the government. This would increase to 50% over time. The parties signed a letter of intent known as Heads of Terms in October 2023, but there's still no final contract. President Boko, a Harvard-educated lawyer, implied that the method of negotiation needed to change. Following the election, he gave a press conference, a brief class in compromise, telling them, when you've negotiated properly, you don't leave the negotiating table smiling. Getting a deal soon is important for the country's diamond revenues, which would grow as Okavango's access to production grows. It's also important for Botswana's reputation as a good place for investment, a reputation that it has developed over the decades through successful partnerships with De Beers and other mining companies. Number 2, agree on the relationship with HB Antwerp. The Masisi government was in negotiations with HB Antwerp to acquire just under half of the Belgian manufacturer's shares. There were a lot of questions about whether this was in the best interest of the country. HB's founder, Rafael Papismedov, told me the past president recognized the company's positive impact on Botswana, including its wage levels and engagement of the youth. He said he was keen to meet the new leaders. There was also a feeling that Masisi used HB Antwerp as a way of forcing De Beers to make concessions. President Boko will have to decide how to play this deal. Number 3, plan Botswana's diversification. This is a big one, but moving away from a reliance on diamond mining starts with making it easier to cut and polish diamonds in Botswana. President Boko will need to talk with De Beers and maybe even some of the manufacturers to work out how to reduce the costs of operating in the country. One important manufacturer already told me that Boko's plan to raise the minimum wage would cause harm to the sector and might result in companies moving elsewhere. Botswana's new boss has a lot to juggle. What else do you think should be on his to-do list? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the week.